ladies and gentlemen, we move on once again with C-Class Muay Thai over 5 1.5 minute rounds. Would you welcome first into the blue corner, representing the Warriors Gym, Danielle Whitfield. And would you welcome her opponent into the red corner, representing the Ippon Gym, Monika Grzankowska. C-Class action over 5 1.5 minutes. Whitfield in the blue, Grzankowska in the red.
Danielle Whitfield in the blue corner from the Warriors Gym. Monika Grzankowska from Ippon in the red.
Yeah, nice to see the girls representing already here on Yokkao. I think this is the only ladies fight of the evening, if I'm not mistaken. Nice to see how they represent. Of course, we've got some terrific girls here in the UK, Malcolm, who are absolute world beaters.
And as you said, it's good to see them coming through the ranks. Again, nice C-Class action, but more importantly, on a show of this size. I know the Ippon Gym were talking to Sean earlier, and they were genuinely excited to get Monika on this show.
Of course, you want to get your fighters on the biggest shows you possibly can. Yokkao is one of the biggest brands in Muay Thai, on the international scene especially, when you come across Europe and everything like that. Of course, Yokkao products as well. All the people are wearing all the clothes, the shorts, the pads, everything. It's a massive brand, and you want your fighters on those shows, Malcolm.
Yeah, and it's great to see it back here at the Oceana in Southampton as well. And I'll tell you something, Danny, these two young ladies already rising to the occasion. This is a very fast start for 5 1.5 minute rounds.
Well, you said it yourself, 1.5 minute rounds, Malcolm. They've got nothing to lose. They need to throw everything in. They should be fit enough. Listen, even if you're amateur and you're not as experienced, you should be fit for 5-3s. You should be training like that. So fitness shouldn't be your issue.
And as you alluded to earlier as well, we've got two very good camps there as well, so they'll be very well schooled.
Yeah, definitely. You're only going to have competent, good gyms when you come to these shows. So I do expect nothing less, to be honest with you. But both gyms will have them very well prepared for this, and you can see that when you just look at the physical attributes of both girls.
And until this boxing exchange here, it was almost exclusively both girls looking to work the legs.
Yeah, early on, try and take out the transportation if you can. But now they're kicking higher. They know where the points are in Muay Thai. It's a really, really good start from both these girls.
Well, I'll tell you how you know that. Have you noticed how the atmosphere's gone up a level here? The crowd have really got behind this because it has been a blistering start and a variety of technique. The hands are coming in over the top. Monika, she brings that round kick up effortlessly to the head as well. Now the first minute, Danny, was almost exclusively an exchange of those kicks low, and then they started to bring the boxing in.
Yep, I was really impressed with that round, Malcolm. That's what like you said, the crowd really lifted up, and that's what people want. They want to see people smashing each other in the face and in the body. It's superb action, and that's what the girls are laying down for everyone here. And you're right, the crowd has lifted up. I've got a feeling that this next round is going to be quite explosive for a round 2.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because I feel neither girl wanted to give ground in that opening round. That's why it's so exciting. And if you look at their skill set, they're almost mirror images of each other. The one thing that did impress me that was maybe slightly different was twice in that round, the way Monika suddenly shot up that round kick to the head at close range. No backlift, she was right in the pocket and still brought the leg up. Outside of that, back and forward the whole round.
Yep, lovely technique from both girls. Very aggressive as well, which is good to see. And I think the girls are going to teach the boys a bit of a lesson so far at this Yokkao show.
Well, we're on the third bout, and Danny's right, the most explosive so far in terms of pace and accuracy. And Danny, you're right, they are straight back at it.
Not a lot of defence from both girls. Neither's looking to block. They're both shooting as soon as they get there.
Now the thing is, Monika is always pushing forward, but Danielle is still active and busy on the counter, on that back foot.
Now we're going to see their attributes in the clinch now.
First time in the bout here in the second round.
Pushing her head back and blinding her with the inside of her glove, but not establishing any good knees when she's there.
And I mean, when you're looking for those subtle differences, Danny, the one thing I will say is Monika is constantly pouring forward, if that will make any difference if everything else is so close.
Yeah, I don't think either girl wants to give ground until now. She's just started to work out that she can get some shots. Sometimes it's hard to find any space, and now taking a step backwards to get the space isn't always the best idea.
And another thing I want to pick up on that you said earlier, there's no blocking or checking, they're just going for it.
These are two warrior brand fighters here, Malcolm. They've come here to do a job, and they're both very fired up for this one. I'd like to know that these girls could make this for 5 rounds at this pace, and we'll have a spectacular bout, I think.
You're right, because 2 rounds and non-stop. And I mentioned before about Monika and the way she could bring that leg up with that back lift. Danielle's just done exactly the same thing with her back to the ropes.
Hard one for the judges to score this one, I think, Malcolm. Where they're both firing so many shots each and they're so active, it is hard for the judges to score who is the best producer of the shots during that. They'll look for quality in amongst that.
Picking up what we said earlier as well, though, Danny, that's why I'm glad in a way that it's 5, not 3 rounds. That might give us the time and the scope for either one of them to flag or one of them to find that bit extra. Whereas I feel if this was the last round now, you'd put money on both girls still just going for it like a train, and then the judges really going, what? But because we got 5, that for me makes this one even more exciting.
Yeah, I think they'll settle down a little bit. I'm not sure they can maintain this pace for 5 rounds. Even though they're 1.5 minute rounds here, I don't think they'll maintain that urgency and that frantic pace. I think it'll settle down a little bit, and then it'll establish who's got the most quality shots in there, and that will give the judges something to score a bit more clearly. Don't get me wrong, there's plenty of scoring shots here. It's a really, really good fight, Malcolm. But just to find a difference between these two girls, because they've both really come out and laid it down for me.
And as Danny Kendrick says that, they come out exactly the same again. And it amazes me, the conditioning, because, as I said, we've just seen the first check, and it's in the third round from Danielle from that low kick from Monika. All the other kicks they've just taken to get their own shots off.
Whitfield's kicking to the body. That might be the difference. Grzankowska is kicking to the leg. Under Thai rules, you know there's only going to be one winner on that outcome as well. It's literally an exchange of body kick for leg kick at the moment, Malcolm.
And again, I think our first defensive front push kick as well from Danielle Whitfield.
Well, I think both girls here are worthy of the brand Yokkao, to be honest with you, Malcolm. I think they've really come out on fire, and they're taking their opportunity very well.
I think I agree with you though, Danny. I think the pace has settled, but they've stepped up the actual power with the way they're really putting in these kicks now. It's not as frantic as rounds 1 and 2, but look at the way the shots are going in now.
Grzankowska doesn't take a step backwards, Malcolm. Have a look. Every step is forward. Now she's started to establish her hands as well, and she's got her in trouble there.
You're right, Danny. It was those punches through the channel, and again, Whitfield, and I know it sounds silly, but whenever you see a young lady with a ponytail, it accentuates the way the head snaps back from a punch, and that's why you could see with Danielle Whitfield, those punches snapped her head back 3-4 times.
Yeah, it's definitely some truth in that. It's there. We're going into round 4 now, which is the money round. I still think it's a hard one for the judges to score because it's very, very close. It really is. But there were some really strong punches towards the end of that round from Grzankowska, who's definitely the more aggressive of the two fighters now. She's the one who's remained hungry for longer in this fight. But like I said before, she's kicking the leg and Whitfield is kicking the body. So there's an intelligence in the blue corner. But I think the fight in the red corner might be apparent in this round.
So just to clarify for those of you maybe watching for the first time, the body shots will score heavier under the Thai rules there. And Lee in the corner, I noticed every time she threw the body kick, the punch in the air came up as if to say to the judges, hey, look at this, guys, look at this.
Well, cornermen are renowned for trying to let the judges know that the shot's there, but it's there for them to see. And this is what I expected, Malcolm, straight away, is Monika Grzankowska to just step forward, and she's a very, very aggressive girl.
Well, you mentioned the difference in the kicks. What she's doing is she's using her low kicks to really get the boxing going now. She brings the hands in over the top. She'll push in that right round kick to the leg and then suddenly bring in the hands over the top. Stiff jab from Danielle, but Monika comes straight back with the right.
This is a really good matchup here in Yokkao.
Oh, Danny,
it really
it's superb.
Is. I'm going to say well done to the promoters here and Mr. Sean Toomey, of course, because this is a really, really well-matched bout, and I think there's a good future for both these girls.
Superb, Danny. And again, you mentioned the brand, and I think being on this brand just raises your expectation as a fighter. You want to do well because of the brand name. I think that's one of the great things about this show tonight.
Well, there's no point wearing an Armani shirt if you're ugly as sin, Malcolm. If you want to wear the brand,
Danny, I'll take it off. I'll take it off, Danny.
You've got to wear it well. And Yokkao, like I say, is one of the biggest brands in the business. And it should be an absolute privilege for these girls to fight on a show like this.
And these two girls are doing Yokkao proud, aren't they?
They are,
tonight.
Yeah.
They really are.
Definitely. Reddening on the body to the left-hand side of Monika Grzankowska, where Danielle Whitfield has dug in with that right kick. She'll go back to the corner, but the most aggressive fighter of the two. And what I do notice a lot in many fights, in boxing, across the spectrum of fight sports, Malcolm, if the fights are extremely close, the aggressor will take it.
That's right, Danny, because you're looking as a judge, and although we're not judging, we are in a way unofficially on our scorecards. You look for something, just anything that separates them. So you tick all the boxes and look even. Then in the back of your head you think, yes, but red corner's constantly pushing forward. And it can be just that subtlety, that one little thing that makes you decide, actually, it's not 100% even. And I agree with you on everything else. As you said, Danielle bringing those kicks up to the waist. When she kicks, Monika comes over with the hands. But what might stick in the judges' eyes is most of that round was fought with Danielle's back to her own corner.
It takes a very smart fighter, Malcolm, to be able to go backwards for a whole fight and win a fight. Not everyone's got the attributes of Samart Payokarum, for example, but...
Well, you mentioned across the spectrum. In boxing, obviously, the master of that was Sugar Ray Leonard and Chris Eubank, who are very dangerous with their back.
Mayweather.
Yeah, yep. and now, of course, Floyd is the biggest example of that. But you're right, it takes a special sort of skill.
You've got to be appealing to the eye, haven't you, when you're going backwards? You've got to make your shots count. She's doing really well here. I think she's playing a little bit now.
Well, it's the pace, Danny, but something you mentioned before as well, which I think the red corner have picked up. Over half of Monika kicks now are coming up waist high as well. She's bringing that left leg up to the waist quite regularly before she throws the right hand.
Well, sometimes I think we're too loud in the commentary box and the corner teams pick it up. Malcolm, who knows? But I did call this earlier, actually, so I'll give myself another pat on the back, as I like to do sometimes. But Grzankowska does look like the hungrier fighter of the two. She does look like an aggressive girl.
But it's an absolute war. I mean, Danielle bites on the gum shield and fires back. But I just feel for the judges, it's moments like this where she's having to do it on that counter.
I think red corner's really come well in this fight, and is now the one pushing the action. And although she's not being that effective in her shots when she comes, it's it's one where the judges have got their work cut out and they're going to have to get this one right.
But Danny, this is an early contender for fight of the night. If we're going to get better fights than this, we are in for an absolute treat.
I think the girls have laid it down here, I really do. I think the guys have got to watch in here and say we've got something to live up to here. I thought that was a tremendous fight from both girls and a big future for both of them.
I agree, Danny. Wonderful to watch from the best seats in the house here at Yokkao. Unbelievable stuff here in Southampton.
Ladies and gentlemen, before the official announcement, I just think we've had the benchmark set for this evening. What a battle that was! But we do have a unanimous decision. Our judges at ringside all in favour of the red corner, Monika Grzankowska.